Today's question comes from a Quora user who asks, I'm 36 and going back to college. Is it worth it at this point? And you can almost feel for this person because it's a tough place to be. You might be at a school with a bunch of people younger than you. You feel like you're going slower than the pack. And it's you feel for them. You know, you want to reach out and say, hey, it's going to be okay. So I want to turn this question over to Caleb and see what you have to say.
So the first thing I would say is I think this is more common. I think there are a lot of people who are in their early 30s, mid 30s, or maybe starting to approach 40, and they never quite checked that box next to the bachelor's degree. Maybe they have some college, maybe they've got no college. And the question is it worth it at this stage to go back to college? And what we have to say is yes, but. And there's a couple of questions that you need to ask yourself. And the first one is, are you doing this for a specific reason? Are you going back to college for a promotion? Are you looking to switch career fields? Are you just trying to make yourself more marketable in general? You need to start out with a goal, because if you don't start out with a goal, you might not like where you end up. So definitely start out knowing where you want this degree to take you.
Now, to be fair, if you're sitting on a pile of gold and have tons of money to spend, who cares? Do whatever you want. But if you have the potential of going into debt for this program, this degree you're pursuing, exactly what Caleb's saying, you got to have a goal and a plan.
So if your goal is to get a promotion or a specific job, go look at that job. Does the job require a degree? If so, does it require a 4-year degree, a bachelor's degree, or does it require a 2-year degree, an associate's degree? These are the questions that you want to ask. Go find 5 of these jobs that you wouldn't mind holding, and just go see exactly what they require. Another important aspect of this is listing out specifically the types of degrees that are required, because just knowing when you want to get a bachelor's isn't enough. If the jobs that you want to hold require a business degree or a psychology degree, you need to be thinking in terms of specifically those degrees. So that's an important step as well.
And even on the other hand, as you're going through and looking at the requirements for these jobs and seeing if you could fulfill those requirements through a bachelor's degree, you might find that you could get away with a couple of certifications. That's why I would recommend looking at least 5 different versions of this job and looking at those listings so you get a full understanding of the field.
The next thing you need to be thinking about is it going to pay off financially? You can get a college degree, depending on how much credit you're coming in with, for about $10,000 to $30,000 in 2 years if you're working at it really hard, and about $60,000 in 6 years if you're kind of going at your own pace and maybe overpaying a little bit. So you need to be thinking about, how much is this going to cost? Am I going to have to quit my job in the meantime? If so, not earning those paychecks is an opportunity cost that you really should factor in. So these are all financial questions that you should be asking. What kind of pay increase are you expecting out of this? Take that into account as well when you start thinking about college, because if the numbers just don't add up, it might not be a good decision. A typical pay increase is somewhere in the range of $10,000 to $15,000. So take that into account. If your degree is helping you accomplish something like that, you need to kind of think about the numbers beforehand just to make sure that they all add up. And this is perhaps the most important point. The fact that you're 36 does not mean that you are going to somehow be less successful in a college environment. In fact, and I'm going to go on the record here, I think it means you might be more successful. I think most 36-year-olds that I've interacted with are better prepared for the college experience and the college environment than 18-year-olds. And here's why. First of all, I think they care more. They have actually been out in the real world and they see what requires education and the value that that has. Mm-hmm. So they're starting out from a place where they are valuing this college education more than perhaps a lot of high school kids would. They have more experience to build on in the classroom and to bring to the table in projects, group projects, papers. And also, they kind of know what they're more interested in.
Yeah.
These are people who have been out in the workforce and they've tried things and they know what they like. They know what they don't like. They know what they want to do. So I think that sets a typical 36-year-old up for a very successful college experience.
And I think, too, they have such a better understanding, typically, of what their end goal is. And it's a lot more easy, I think, to stay motivated when you know why you're doing and how you're doing it.
Think about yourself 20 or 30 years down the road. When you're in your 50s or 60s, do you see yourself having a degree? Do you see yourself having a position that requires a degree, such as a manager level position? If the answer is yes, college is for you.
So I'll go ahead and try to summarize what you're saying basically, and it's that, really apart from the lessened lifetime earning, because let's be honest, an 18-year-old has more years to work with a bachelor's degree and to make more money out of it, really, other than that, your age shouldn't make a big difference. You've got to balance earning potential with satisfaction, personal obligations, and the likelihood of success. But as long as you calculate all of that and you're ready to make the commitment, then yeah, it doesn't matter what age you are. It can be totally worth it. I hope that's helpful. If you'd like to learn more, be sure to check out our 7-step Graduate U checklist. It's a freebie on our website, link in the description, that will take you from no degree to diploma in hand. And if you want to check out a 3-part question we answered for a Reddit user whose parents-in-law were not very supportive of her getting a bachelor's degree, even though they supported her husband, then you can check out the first video in that series right here.